Welcome into the OBR streaming network. This is a brand new edition of All Eyes on Cleveland. My name is Brad Ward, the man next to me. Been missing. We've missed him dearly. Bi-week Case. Follow him on Twitter at Casey_Caseman. Kinnamon. It's been a minute. Casey_Kinnamon. Casey, right? Okay. Wanted to make sure.
Nice to meet you.
Casey. Yeah, good to see you. Good to meet you. Casey, what's going on, Big Case Dog?
Glad to be back, man. It's been a couple weeks out of the saddle.
Feels like a year's, brother.
Well, so what's crazy is it was pretty negative before I went on my little hiatus for my anniversary and such. And then we had a positive week that I couldn't be on, which would have been like a celebration. And now we're back. We're right back where we were.
Yeah.
So
you missed Jameis week.
Yeah, I did. Here's the good part. There'll be more Jameis weeks.
Yeah, there will be. There will be. I agree. I believe that to be true. Despite what the Chargers did to him and the Browns. Yeah. Chargers, good defense.
Well, that's the thing, man. Everyone's down well, this offense sucks, fire everyone. It's do you know they were the number one scoring defense going into the game?
Yeah.
And they figured you out. They did out scheme you. They outplayed you. It feels bad, but it's the previous 6 losses that makes it feel damning. When in reality, this is a whole new operation, and it needs time to get together. And I still feel encouraged that you're going to go into New Orleans and play well. I don't think that it's.
Yeah. We're going to have a nice conversation about the offense tonight, but I do want to I want to say that the Chargers defense, what surprised me the most, Case, light boxes.
Yeah.
And they stopped the run with light boxes, and that was it. And then they took away Jameis's first read.
Yeah.
And it was really it was a simple recipe, but they had the personnel to do it. And if you're going to stop the run game completely with a light box, you're in trouble.
No one could explain this to me, and it's never going to make sense. Anytime we play a team that is bad against the run, we just can't run it.
I know.
That was the word on the Chargers. Hey, they've been nasty against the pass, but you can run it on them. 4.8 a carry. And it's been that way all year. But if you think about it, and you played, you know what I mean? You played older Harbaugh one week, and then you play the younger. I think there's probably some notes passed.
Sure.
You see the in-breaking routes were taken away. All the stuff that worked against Baltimore did not work against the Chargers.
No.
Jameis never looked comfortable.
Never. Looked very, very uncomfortable.
But he didn't get gun shy. He just wasn't finding the answers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in his process, he forced a few throws, and they made him pay for those. They you know what I mean? Whereas the Ravens did not. The Chargers capitalized when Jameis did force the ball, and they played well, man. And you got to give it up to Mentor. You know, the DC and LA.
Yeah.
Those are young dudes in the secondary. You know, a lot of no names. They played good ball.
They're empowering their young players to take responsibility in that defense, and that looks like a really good defense. And we'll see as they proceed. But some good players I never even really have heard of played well. You know what I mean? So interesting there. So we got a lot to talk about tonight, Case, because we missed a lot. But first of all, if you're over on Twitter, hop over to youtube.com/Orange and Brown Report. Hit like and subscribe. Do all the things, as Casey would say, down below. Chat, what is up, chat? Me and you, we're good. Are we good? Are we good, chat, after last night? I hope so. And good to see you back here tonight. And yes, Twitter is hellscape. So I agree with you, Fumble. But yeah, good to see you guys back in the chat tonight. And we are Overlord. I don't know about that, but I hope we're good after last night's. It was a good conversation, I guess. Yeah, good. It had to be had. And we're back here, though. All Eyes on Cleveland, all about the fun, all about the Keeping it light, we're going to talk some football. First and foremost, you talked to me, Casey, about a little bit today when we were texting just for a minute about the AB presser, and that your takeaways were different from, all the everybody else. And I agree with you. What were your takeaways?
Well, I get frustrated because people put so much weight into pressers, and it's like this regime in particular, they don't give you really anything. They're not going to say anything damning or anything that anyone else has to answer for. And I guess they wanted AB to be like, "We're done with Deshaun. He's never going to play again. He's never going to come out and say those things." But it's what he didn't say that like leads me to believe they see what we see. They see the end is near, and they very non-committal. Anytime asked about him, he just kept referencing the injury, and we're going to worry about getting him healthy. Then everything else is on the other side of that. Whereas at this time last year, same questions came up, and he said, once Deshaun is healthy, he is our starting quarterback. And that didn't get said. They asked him that, and he's like, we look, it's the injury. We'll get him healthy and everything. He just kept pushing it over. And then it reminded me of 2021 when it came to the Baker questions, because they gave
really similar.
In these settings, they kept giving him support. You were behind him. He's our guy. We're going to, we're working through things. But in the reality, what were they doing? And they admitted it too later. In November of that year, they were doing work on Deshaun Watson. They were already looking at contingency plans.
Yeah.
So they're not going to tell you that, but they see what we see, the writings on the wall. They're not going to even talk about him playing at all. They're going to just use that injury as a reason not to talk about the playing situation. And they're going to keep moving things in the background and trying to get set up for the future, because it is what it is, man. They took a swing and it didn't work, but they can't come out while the dude's still on the roster and be like, yeah, it's over. Like, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I wish he would have, and we talked a little bit, I wish he would have been a little bit like, he had an opportunity at the beginning of the presser where he could have been a little candid, like when they asked him about the overarching, like the trade didn't work. And he could have been like, yeah, we're all a little disappointed with how things have gone to this. Yes. Like, you could have started to ease that in, because at some point they're going to have to eat it.
It's just going to be a hard Band-Aid rip. They're just going to be like, all of a sudden, here's your new quarterback.
Yeah. So I agree with you, though. The word of the most impactful thing I took away from the press conference was that he was visibly non-committal to Watson in the number of questions he was asked about it, and they kept coming at him about it, and he remained non-committal throughout. And I think that bodes well for those of us that don't want to see him on the field ever again in orange and brown. So
100% agreed, man. And
yeah,
it's a weird situation, because of course they're going to grill him on it. It's the big black cloud that hangs over everything that happens right now. And even if you would have just taken the first year, I don't know if they make that same move. And that's before this terrible play. And it's just, I don't think they understood the weight that it would bring to the fan base, to the perception of the league, because they were one of 12 teams that inquired, one of like 4 or 5 teams that had their trade package approved. Like, several teams took a lot of steps to get close to that, but because they're the ones that did what they did and guaranteed the contract, just the negative heat that's surrounded it, and it's Pete said it, man. The dude's an energy vampire, and he don't have to do anything or say anything. His presence alone is enough to just suck all the good energy out of the room.
And that happened over time too. Like, I don't feel like that was like that when he walked into Berea.
No, there was an excitement.
Yeah, it happened over time, and the crazy thing is, it's like, I don't think the NFL cares that much about what he's done on or off the field. They have like a code between players, teams. They don't really care, I don't think. But like, the fans care. But then when he's terrible, or he's not good, or he's hurt, and then he's all-time bad this year, and you've had to swallow the dilemma, and you've got your coach lying to you about him.
Hurt.
Yeah, being the best option to play. All of that combined just leads you to a really, really negative place. I don't want to go back there because we're past that now and we're living in a better world with Jameis. I want to talk a lot tonight about, phases of this, right? There's a couple phases, and I wrote about it, and we talked about it a lot last night, and you know, a lot of people want to tear this thing down and blow it up, but I would call it a pivot or a soft adjustment, relaunch, whatever you want. It's not a tear down. It's not a rebuild. They're not going to do it. They just won't do it. And it's because they're still going to have cap money to spend. They're still going to they have a plethora of draft capital now. And they believe, whether you or believe it or not, I happen to believe they have a good young core still in place.
Yeah, I used the word that's been coming up with me recently has been retool. There are several things that need retooled. You need to revise this offensive line. There's a lot of things you need to do, but it's not a rebuild. That's crazy talk.
Yeah,
you got your cornerstones. You're not moving off your cornerstones.
Exactly. And I don't know why you want to go back to that anyways. Like you said it in a tweet I saw you write. A lot of people must have really loved, what was it? One win.
They missed it. They missed that suffering.
I don't know why people want to go back to that when you don't have to.
Here's the thing, and no one's coming out and saying this, but when they're saying blow it up or fire this guy, they're saying somebody needs to pay for my pain. They feel wrong. They feel they've been wronged as a fan base, or a fan in particular, and they need someone to pay for that, for them to feel better about the situation.
What am I looking at? Look at the number of free agents on the roster come next league year. Are you calling me a liar, Drew? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, no, they actually will have cap space.
Yeah, well, there's a ton of players that don't have guaranteed money next year.
Sure.
That's kind of like where it allows them wiggle room here to figure out over these last 8 games who's in the boat, who's going to be rowing in the same direction, and that's how we're going to roll in the next year.
Nobody believes this. This isn't true. All right, so there's been a lot made about like what D Podesta does. Like this got asked during the press conference, Casey, and Ken has been talking about it a lot in the morning. Like, we don't know what he does. They don't even tell us what this guy. I believe I know what he does. I'm going to tell you what I think he does. Okay. We know, for example, he came up with the guardrails, right? Mm-hmm. Those were a product of D Podesta. He does stuff like this, right? So you're a chief strategy officer. You understand the vision, like a long-term vision. If we're talking about a company, a football team, I don't know. No, I don't believe, Mary Kay, I don't believe there's 5 people making decisions. I don't. I believe it's Barry and Stefanski. I do. I think you're wrong. I don't believe that at all. Sorry. There's not 5 people making the plan. I don't believe Vrabel has anything to do with the long-term plan at all.
Vrabel's there learning. He's prepping for his next job.
I know you're saying this, and I maybe Mary Kay said that is what you're saying, but I don't believe that. I believe that Barry and Stefanski have the majority of the say, and it's pretty split. So, to be honest, Foxy Jane, I'm not saying she lies, but I don't know that she's always correct. I don't take what she says as, you can find the quote all you want. I just don't take what she says as the gospel.
Vrabel's there soaking up stuff, learning how to do front office stuff. He's preparing for his next job. He's using this as a springboard for his next job. He's not a decision maker. D Podesta does set up the guardrails. Like, he's chief strategy officer. Do I believe he's a sounding board for ideas? I do. I believe
Sure.
that things do get ran
Sure.
past his desk, whether they think it's a good idea. And I think that goes for any major decision. And that's people get mad at the word analytics because they want to get the nerds out of their game. But like, it's gathering as much information as possible so you can make the best decision possible. And you know what I mean? Like that's part of what he is. But
Yeah,
this
he's
Moneyball
about
stuff's crazy to me because Moneyball is about not spending money. That ain't what this is
no, that
at
ain't this.
all. Like,
Uh, so yeah, Vrabel has nothing to do with the long-term decision making. I feel confident in saying that. You know, De Podesta is about the process, right?
mhm,
So, like for example, the guardrails is a way to keep your vision on that long-term goal that they're trying to accomplish, and he puts that process into place. That's what they do. That's what it's about: packaging analytics and putting together processes that keep you focused on the long term. Do I think that he is making personnel decisions, like individually saying we should take this player? No, I don't. I think that they might use him as a sounding board, as you said, because he's a smart guy. But his job is basically to, he has nothing to do with salary cap. He has nothing to do with any of that. He basically is to come up with processes that will streamline what they're doing and keep them directed towards the long term goal, which is success.
mhm.
So, and that may change. What are the guardrails? The guardrails are the draft guardrails. Do you know them, Case? Their
I
age,
mean, it's draft
they're
young.
not it's a guideline. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
guidelines they use
and
in
it's the
drafting.
reason you got Miles and Njoku at 29 looking at a third contract still in the physical prime, and most people don't get that.
Exactly.
It's because
Yeah.
you did that and you identify your talent early and who you're going to keep, and you don't overpay for your own talent, you don't overpay for free agents, and it's about using your own to harvesting your own depth, so you're not paying for depth. You know what I mean? That's all part of the guardrails, and a lot of it's good. A lot of that's like good
It
process.
is good.
It doesn't mean it
Yeah.
always yields good results. Sometimes you
No.
overvalue your own roster, and you think that your depth is sufficient enough, and then it gets super tested, and you're like, okay, we should have paid someone to come in and do this, but we're no one's
So,
100%, man.
yeah, so if you're a subscriber at the OBR, Jack does a really good job with this stuff of actually updating it every year because it has changed, right?
Well, as your
So
organization changes, it needs to evolve as
it
well.
has
You
to
know what I
evolve
mean?
as well. As you become more competitive, the age changes and so forth and so on.
Mhm,
But the idea here is that early in the rounds 1 and 2, the ideal age is 22 or less, right? And usually younger. So you want to draft younger. Rounds 3 through 6, 22 and a half or less. And then as you get later in the draft, they become more flexible with those ages that we've seen. The other part of this is the RAS score, right?
mhm.
Your ideal RAS score is 8 or higher in rounds 1 and 2. And like I said, these aren't exact rules, but they are a guide to get you to a place where you tend to get younger players so you can get them in a second contract. And we've seen this happen with a lot of guys on the roster because they were drafted young, right? So, yeah, I think that I think the guardrails are a good thing, and they have adjusted as the team has become more competitive. Anyways, so the what was I talking? Okay, best way to move forward out of this thing is what I wanted to talk about today. I want to talk about how they get in phases, Casey. There's a phase of 8 weeks of the rest of this regular season.
Mhm.
And then you're gonna have your early off season phase. You're gonna have your off season, your draft and free agency, and then you're gonna be into 2025. And they fully believe, once again, whether you do or not at home, they fully believe they can compete in 2025.
Yeah.
The key here is finding that quarterback. That is going to be that's number one. But I want to ask you a question first, and I think this is a big part of the first phase, and you can tell me what you think is a big part of the second phase. I don't know if this offense is it, brother.
Yeah.
So you brought in Ken Dorsey for Deshaun Watson, right? And you put in this offense, and it's not, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of Stefanski mixed in now, right? It's a hybrid of both, but there's
Yeah.
still a lot of Dorsey influence. Would you agree?
Yeah, but as the last 2 weeks, it's blended way closer to a Stefanski offense than
Sure.
we don't even know what we were looking at the first 7 weeks because of the trigger man. We had no idea. Like, it's hard to even judge what that disjointed mess was that we called offense. But and this goes back to my previous thought, man. Like, I know nothing against Dorsey. Like, I didn't want Dorsey. I wanted Clint Kubiak just because I wanted someone that understood what Kevin wants to do and can build on it and build from
they
it
wanted
instead of building from nothing.
They wanted to go full
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien, Houston.
Yeah.
Didn't it feel like that?
Then why don't you go get Bill O'Brien?
Well, but you get what I'm saying, though,
Yeah,
right?
no, they did. No, they
too
built
much.
They were like, okay, we'll just tear the offense down to the studs and build around this guy. But all the eggs are in that basket. Problem is, when things go off the rails, Stefanski can't fix that.
Right.
He can fix what he does. He can't fix the thing that he didn't. That I don't know, man. To me, that was bad process, and I don't know where the urging came to do that. I get the process though, because you invested in this dude, and you got to see if it works. But now we're in a spot, and I think that's also the reason the play calling got handed to Dorsey, because now he's being evaluated for the rest of the season. And I think there's a very strong possibility Ken Dorsey is not here in 2025.
Foxy Jane, you can talk about it all you want. Absolutely. I disagree. I think that I don't know, Casey, what do you think? Do you think that Kevin, I mean, it's people have a bunch of different conspiracy theories on this stuff. I think Kevin actually, probably somewhat reluctantly, but I think he did make the changes to the staff last year. I think it was his choice along with Barry, but I think it was his final choice to continue to play Watson this year.
That's the point. Was it his idea? I don't know, but was it at the end of the day? Did he have to? He had to sign off on, or it doesn't happen.
He has to sign off on it, and even in the press conference, Barry was very clear about this, right?
It's also a tremendous way of, like, if everyone did it, then no one could be held accountable.
Right.
It's like it's the triumvirate.
Shared. It's the shared.
Yeah, the shared responsibility.
Responsibility.
We all did this, so it's all or nothing at that point.
Yeah, I do disagree with you on that, Foxy Jane, but that doesn't mean you can't talk about it. You can talk about all you want. You're good. Am I froze?
Not to me, but on the YouTube, yes, you are. Me too. Jacob just texted me what happened. Like, I know. Said we crashed.
We're still going? Are we good? Twitch is fine.
Maybe they can hear us, but maybe our pictures just froze. Because on my YouTube, it's froze. The picture is.
Oh, yeah. This is all bad. What's going on here? We're having trouble streaming to YouTube. This may be an issue on YouTube's end. Oh, wonderful. Thanks, YouTube. See if we can get it back here.
The tube of you.
Sorry, folks, for the technical difficulties. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. So if we go out, no, it really won't let us do anything here, huh?
So are we on Twitter right now?
We are on Twitter, and we are on.
Apparently, I look stoned, according to MC.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Fantastic.
That's terrific stuff.
Wish I was. Make the season easier.
What do you guys think about the dead cap space? What? I've done shows on this, Casey, on the dead cap space with Jack to try to explain it. And it just feels like sometimes just like people don't listen, maybe. I don't know. Or they don't want to pay
man, on
attention.
paper it looks negative. On paper it's like, oh, you traded this guy, but you still own like 14 million.
Yeah.
That's part of that's they have a handle on it. It's not like they're just flying blind, like, oh, guess we owe that money now. Like they knew that before they executed the thing. Like,
yeah,
that's going to be part of their scheme going forward. It's the reason they roll over money. It's part of this process. And it's the whole like, well, the Watson thing's going to be an albatross around your neck, but it hasn't been. Yes, does it suck and it hamstrings and it makes them have to be more creative with how they spend, but like, have they had to let go of a single player yet because they couldn't afford him?
Are we back on? We should be back. Oh, nope. It won't let us.
Just scream into the void.
Man, what a mess. YouTube won't let us do our thing here. Yeah. Try one more time here.
Man's holding us down, Brad.
Huh?
The man's trying to hold us down, not letting us get the good word out.
They don't want us to talk to the people. What a disaster. Your first show back.
It's me, dude. It's all my fault.
No.
You should have stayed away.
Let's do this. Public. Save. Maybe if we get rid of this. Let me know if you can see us on the YouTubes.
I'm going back in.
Yeah.
I'm going back in. Let's see what happens.
Anything?
Not yet.
Looks like we've got a half hour of coverage. Short show for YouTube tonight.
YouTube's been killing. I gotta give it up to the people, man. Like they've been showing up and showing out.
It came up again. So there's an error, something wrong. So I have to apologize to anybody that is it's effed up. Says fumble, sends me to another video every time. Yeah, it's not on our end. I want to apologize. It's actually not. So we're having trouble streaming to YouTube. This may be an issue on YouTube's end.
Yeah. It's saying there's a show waiting. 3 people were waiting in the thing.
Yeah.
It's not connecting.
We'll keep trying and let you know if it's resolved. So it may get resolved. It may not. I apologize to all that. And you know what? You can you're joking. I know, Fumble, about Foxy Jane, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just don't think that. I think that Kevin had his say in a lot of this stuff, Case. I do.
Yeah. No, that's my point the whole time. Is I don't think he's operating solo, but like the thing that we praise them for is the thing that's happening now. They're in lockstep. They're executing their plan. Like you don't have to like their plan, but it's their plan, and they don't stray from it. They don't panic, and they're going to see things through. And we could wish they would pivot sooner than they do, but
that's some magic shit, Fumble.
I don't know if there's anything good on Paramount Plus anymore.
What?
I don't have it.
You don't have it? I love.
No, I used to. I used to have Paramount Plus. HBO Max is my jam now. I'm watching the Penguin.
Is that what is that? I've heard about this. What is the Penguin? Is this
great, dude? It's
is this the character from Batman?
The Batman, yeah. Yep.
The Batman?
Colin Farrell. It's about after the events of the Batman and after Carmine Falcone was murdered. It's about the vacuum of power and his rise to the top. It's phenomenal show. I don't give a shit if you don't have to like be into Batman. Like he's
Really?
Colin Farrell needs to win an award, bro. It's too good. And I think there's only eight episodes this season, so there's only one left. I haven't seen week 7 yet, so going to watch. Since we don't play this Sunday, I'm going to use that to catch up and watch the finale.
Interesting.
But I'm also like a huge comic nerd. Like, I love Batman is my favorite comic book character.
What's up, MC? Good to see you in the Twitter. Thanks for rejoining. Yeah, we don't know what the YouTube. It's something on YouTube's end. They are not letting us, for whatever reason. They cut the feed. They're having trouble. We're having trouble streaming to YouTube. It's an issue on YouTube's end. We'll keep trying and let you know when it's resolved.
They couldn't handle the chat.
They can't handle the pain, MC. Paramount Plus app does not work on your Fire Stick. Interesting. Yeah, I like Paramount Plus. It's got a good selection of shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had it for the last 2 years. I just got rid of it this year.
Mayor of Kingstown. Have you seen that?
No, but you told me about it. That's a Showtime show, right? It's on Paramount Plus.
I think it's on Paramount Plus.
In Paramount Plus. That's part of the package.
I don't know where it originates from, to be honest. I don't even think it's Showtime.
It was when it originated, when it came out.
Oh, really? Maybe it is.
Yeah.
That's a killer show. That's on there. There's some other good stuff on there too.
During football season, I'm lucky if I get a show in. Do you know what I mean? It's just,
I feel you.
Is what it is.
So what do you want to do here, Case?
I think
do you want to restart it in like 5 minutes?
I mean, you mean try to go like start fresh and go back in and see if YouTube will connect? I'm cool with whatever, man. We can just keep having conversations. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It sucks that it's not on YouTube, but
yeah.
The good people at Twitter.
Wait.
Fine folks over at the X-Bird app.
Yeah.
Google's letting us down, but Elon's not.
I wonder. I can't believe.
I'm gonna go check something out real quick because when I was looking to see if we were back on, a show that I've done before, Tacos and Touchdowns, was on, and I know they stream from StreamYard to YouTube, and they're live right now. I'm looking at it.
They do.
Yeah, you know, Shane Carter. That's who that does that show.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't really mean anything about us, though. I don't think it's like a blanket thing.
It must not. I mean, it feels targeted. I feel like we were targeted tonight. I just figured somehow YouTube was having trouble connecting to the StreamYard accounts or something.
Yeah. It's blocking us out, man.
They can't handle it, bro.
Qualcomm operational. I'm trying to look at it right now in a little more in depth. Let's see. Let us see.
I'm just glad you're tackling that because I'd get nowhere, man. Technology and me are oil and water. Unless it's like music or something.
Yeah, man. I don't know what the issue is. It was working, right?
Yeah. I was keeping up with most of the chat.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's weird. So if you had to pick, who would your quarterback be of the known people out there? Who would you want your quarterback to be?
He's already on the team. Of the people that are out there, we're talking about a bridge. We're not going and getting us a full-time, long-term starter. I think Jameis has the most upside.
Aren't you drafting somebody though?
Every year. I think you do that every year. You need to. When you don't have a quarterback, you're drafting every year. And if you're not, you're doing yourself a disservice. You got to take a swing. Now, we talked about this on Tuesday on Barking Browns, but like, it's such a projection. Quarterback's the hardest position to hit on because it's the hardest to project what they will be at the next level because they're not developed in college. You don't get time to develop in the pros. It's so rare that someone actually does, and for every Josh Allen, for every raw prospect that is inaccurate in college that actually gets their shit together in the NFL, there's 15 guys who are who they are, you know what I mean, and are unable to make the necessary steps to acclimate to the league. But you got to try. You can't, you got to keep swinging.
You got to.
Well, we're talking about it on Sports for CLE. It might have been after. I don't know if it was after the show or before the show. But we were talking about how San Francisco got Purdy. So San Francisco, Shanahan hired Brian Greasy to be their QB coach. And they tasked him. They said, okay, scout all college and find us a quarterback you think could work in this system.
Right.
And that's what he did. And he came back with Brock Purdy. So you got to dedicate you. That's the other thing we don't know about too, is like the Browns always get lumped in like, all Browns have taken so many quarterbacks and none have worked out. Well, this regime ain't guilty of that. They've drafted one. And it was a 5th round pick. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we don't know what their process is for drafting quarterbacks. It's not something they have a ton of actual practice. And the one thing that I did like out of Barry's presser is how he every now and again, he'll let a nugget out and kind of explain some of their process. And they treat themselves like an expansion team in regards to the draft. So that means they do diligent work on every position, even if it's not a position of need. But I don't know what the process is for quarterback, who's in charge of the quarterback scouting. But I would think that if you're in a position where that's the one thing that you desperately need, you need to put some good minds on that and pick it apart and come up with every scenario of where you can get him and what rounds you can get him. And you need to have a battle plan. So you walk away with at least a solid dart throw in every draft.
100%.
But it is a dart throw.
100%. So there's going to be guys in free agency too.
Is there anyone in free agency that you would take over Jameis?
Kirk Cousins.
He's under contract. He just signed a 3-year deal.
You're right. Trade for him.
That becomes rough. Look, he'd be an upgrade. I am not here to tell you that he's not an upgrade. He'd be an upgrade.
Darnold.
That one scares me.
$35 million after this year.
Yeah, that one scares me a little bit. But that's the thing, though. That's the Geno thing. It's like and that's something I think Jameis could get to. But it's curious when a guy's been in the league for 5 years and all of a sudden the light comes on. Maybe the light stays on full time. Maybe Darnold's a guy for the rest of his career. That's among the range of outcomes. But it sounds unlikely when you're like, yeah, for the first 5 years he couldn't figure it out. But he's still young. I think what's Darnold, 25? Like he came in as a 20-year-old. Maybe he's 26. Still a young kid. He's got to
be older than that, right?
Not much. I mean, he was 20 when he was drafted in 18, so 26, 25, 26. Like he's not old.
Yeah, we're aware, Jacob. We don't know what the holdup is. It says, once again, we're having trouble streaming on YouTube. This may be an issue on YouTube's end. We'll keep trying and let you know if it's resolved. Don't know. He's 27.
So that's still young enough. You're getting a guy who's the lights came on. He's in an O'Connell system. What transfers from that? Like, was that what made it go off? And then you're like, when you draft a quarterback, there's a big thing in my mind. It's nature versus nurture. The problem is a lot of these bad quarterbacks who get drafted early are going to bad teams, usually in bad environments. and sometimes their confidence gets shattered. I mean, he'll always be associated with that ghost comment that he was seeing ghosts. I know that
Always.
that stuck with him for a while. Maybe there was something in the Viking system. Obviously, you're playing with Jefferson, like that's gotta help, you know. But but at 35 million, do you do it? Probably not.
Yeah, it's way too much, man. It's way too much. If you wish you got to find somebody before they're that guy, right?
But it shows you
Like,
the process of going and getting those guys who have maybe flamed out somewhere.
yes.
Trey Lance,
Ugh.
just someone who's considered a high talent that, maybe you can get it out of him. I don't know. No one's going to like my answer. My answer is I'm going to, if I can, I'm going to use Jameis as a bridge. I'm going to bring DTR back and I'm drafting someone.
No, I get it, man. I get it. I think that Jameis can be that bridge too. I really do. I just it's hard to yeah, I think you have to like you said, no, I don't want to do that. I think you have to continue to look elsewhere, like, you just have to keep going and looking other places, no stone unturned, all off season, right? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well, look, man, you can upgrade. There's virtually probably only like 3 or 4 positions on the Browns that they really can upgrade. Quarterback's not among those. If you can upgrade it, you upgrade it. And
Yeah,
that's the reason that's how you got Deshaun. People are going to be pissed at that, but that's how you got Deshaun because you
I
needed to
know.
upgrade the position. He, at the time, hate this statement all you want. He was a clear upgrade from what you had at that time and who he was at that time. Now, that hasn't proven to be true over time, but like if you were to go back, take a time machine to 2021, how many GMs would have taken Baker over Deshaun Watson?
Yeah,
It's fucking zero.
I know.
Not a one of them would have.
I know. There's nobody else on this list that
Well, let's think
Mac
about the Darnold
Jones.
situation. Let's because you want to be like you said, you want to be early, not late. So, who are some players that have flamed out, who are considered maybe bust, but were high talent guys coming in? It just didn't work out. That would be available. I know Trey Lance is one of those.
Um,
Are there any more of those type of candidates?
Easton Stick.
Oh,
No.
Jesus Christ.
Justin Fields, Drew Lock. Justin Fields feels like Watson all over again. I feel like he has the same flaws in his game. Jarrett Stidham, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson.
So far, man.
Not
I gotta say
much.
something about Zach Wilson because right now Zach Wilson is, I think, third string in Denver. Trey Lance, same. Notice that they went to, they're moving to Cooper Rush and not Trey Lance now that Dak's hurt.
Really?
Yeah, Cooper Rush is starting against Philly this week now that Dak's out with a hamstring injury. And who you said Zach Wilson? Drew Lock's always intrigued me.
Yeah, me too.
I've
You
always
just
been
can't
intrigued by
seem to
him.
put it together for a long time. You know what I mean? Or for long enough.
And he's
Yeah,
had
he's
an
always intriguing.
environment change and it hasn't really resulted. He's still behind Daniel Jones. I honestly thought he would get an opportunity to start this year. I didn't think Daniel Jones would last very long. So I was off on that.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Hold on a second here. Well, I fixed something today.
All right.
don't think
Well,
it
out of the
was the
names we just went
YouTube
through, I would keep Jameis Winston. That's what I would do.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, brother. I think they will keep him. I think they have to.
I would keep James. I would resign Jameis to a 2-year deal, probably 8 to 10 per, which in quarterback terms is pennies. And I'm reverting back to Stefanski's system and trying to build from that with Jameis.
Malik Willis says Manimal. He's looked okay in
Yeah, no, no.
relief of
Yeah,
Jordan
no.
Love.
Look, I take a dart throw on Malik Willis. Yes,
Deshaun
sir.
Kaiser. Sam. What's up, Sam? Good to see you in here, brother. Oh, there it goes again. I tried, folks. I've done everything. I just went into my computer and connected us another way. So now that we're connected to the internet twice, and YouTube has kicked it, well, continues to kick us off, Deshaun Kaiser. So, but that's it. Scout the heck out of the UFL guys. Maybe you'll find a Kurt Warner. Jacob, tell me who your sleeper is, brother. Don't leave us in suspense. That's a good call. Malik Willis, I mean, kick the tires. Do your research. How tall is
Yeah.
he?
Huh?
How tall is he?
I think he's 6'2". 6'1" and change is my guess. My official guess.
Jacob, I thought you were going to tell me who your sleeper was.
No, he just wants you to hang on.
Did I already miss? No. And people will call me crazy, but man, ...
The suspense is killing me. No, Malik, you have to trade for. Malik was in the third year. He has another year under. Oh no, he got cut. Did he get cut? He got cut or traded? That matters actually. Because if it was traded, then he was still on his rookie deal, which is 4 years.
I feel like he got cut. Let's look.
Then that restarts everything, and they could have signed him to a 1-year deal in Green Bay. But if you're Green Bay, man, you're probably trying to bring that kid back as your backup. If he likes the situation.
You probably are. But I mean, just like any other team, you're going to listen to a trade. You know, like if you really fall in love with him, you'll trade your backup quarterback for anything under a 6th, right?
It depends on how confident you are in your starter, and they love Jordan.
It appears he's still on his rookie deal.
So he's got a year left after this year.
Yeah.
This was year 3 for him.
Yeah, he's under contract for 2025.
Yeah, he looked good, man. He looked real good.
He was a 3rd-round pick, 86th
out of Liberty.
overall.
Yeah.
David Mulugeta is his agent. Of course.
You can't escape.
Right?
You can't escape.
Can't escape the man. Who else? You got any other names?
No. I'm searching backups. That's what I'm doing in my head right now. I'm searching backups.
Best backup quarterbacks in the NFL. It's going to give us a bunch of old guys.
I'm rolling with Jameis. I'm giving him an off season. I'm building around him, and I'm drafting guys. And I'm just going to keep throwing darts. And if the draft pick beats Jameis out, so be it. You know?
What a list this is. Holy cow. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's going to get every chance.
I don't think you're going to find anyone with a higher ceiling on that market.
He was traded. Yeah, he's still on his rookie deal. We got there. Jacob, you ever going to tell us who your guy is? What's going on? All right, here we go. Tyson Bagent, 26th. Hendon Hooker.
Agent? Or no, you're saying backups. Never mind.
These are the backups around the league, right?
Bagent's dad is electric, by the way.
He is. He's the arm wrestling guy, right?
Yeah, he's the arm wrestling guy.
Hendon Hooker is the Lions backup.
Intrigued.
You're intrigued?
Oh, what he was before he got hurt. Yeah, in Tennessee.
Was viewed as a potential first-round prospect. Torn ACL caused him to fall to the 3rd round. Now he's healthy. He'll slide in as Jared Goff's backup for his second season. Interesting. Mike White. No thanks.
He's fun, but I don't.
Yeah. Desmond Ridder.
No.
Has a number of starts.
Yeah, it didn't look good to me, but
No.
But if we're looking in that same vein, the guy he was teammates with for a brief second, Taylor Heineke, I could be like the
Yeah. Well,
we talked
Heineke's
about.
a gamer. I like Heineke.
Mm-hmm. But I
He's
don't think his
older.
ceiling's very high. He's a spark guy.
He's older than you think, I bet. Me and Pete had this talk off the air. I think he's old. He's
Like
32.
29.
32. Heineke is.
Jacob saying he's been shadow banned. He sent his sleeper a few times, is what it says, what he's saying.
What does that mean?
It means that somehow Twitter's throttling his response and not viewing it.
Okay.
He could have just texted me it. You could just text me, Jacob. I could say it for you.
Yeah. I think he's lying. Just kidding.
What about Sam Howell?
Well, I'm getting there, guy. Hold on. Let's slow your roll. Slow. I don't know. What do you think of Sam Howell?
Dylan Gabriel is who Jacob's coming up with here.
Okay.
You familiar with Dylan Gabriel?
I
Keep hearing his name. I have not watched him play, so I'm not going to speak out.
I gotta do some. I'd have to do some work on him first.
Yeah.
That's Oregon's quarterback, right?
Do believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's guys I like more initially, but you know, I'll have to do some work on him first, right? You know, I haven't watched enough of him to have an opinion, an NFL opinion on him. He's a good player. Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, hell no.
Kyle Trask.
No.
Cooper Rush, Tyrod Taylor, Jared Stidham. Kenny Pickett.
Oh, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
Small hands, big dreams. Mac Jones.
McCorkle. Put some respect on it.
Can I entice you in some Mac Jones? First round pick.
You gotta say McCorkle. If you don't call him McCorkle Jones, I'm not going to acknowledge him.
McCorkle Jones.
No, still no. Even with the McCorkle, still
Passed
out.
for 3,800, 22 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions in a rookie season.
He lit us the fuck up.
In 21. Still no?
Yeah, no, I don't. I was out on him when they drafted him. I thought it was a gross overreach. He was more successful in his rookie season, but he turned into what I kind of thought he was. But in Stefanski's system, could he be passable? Maybe.
That's what Sam's saying. There are worse ideas. Sam, who do you like for Stefanski's system?
I don't know. I still probably have a negative connotation on what I viewed him as coming out of college.
Why are you bastard? It's just, if you guys want it. One second. Yeah, I mean, I am still going on down. Yeah, so Mason Rudolph, no. Jimmy Garoppolo, no. Josh Dobbs is ranked 13th. No. Carson Wentz, 12. Jameis Winston, 11. Andy Dalton, Jacoby Brissett, Sam Darnold, Drew Lock, Sam Howell. There's your, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Howell, streaky, who can push the ball down the field. Struggle with protecting the football, avoiding sacks.
Sounds like Jameis, huh?
Yeah, it does. 2022 fifth round pick, passed for almost 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 21 touchdowns last season. Justin.
Oh, brother, you froze up on me again. Still frozen.
He's too old.
Sam has
his heart set on Arch. I'm frozen?
You were. So I didn't hear whatever you said in the last 20 seconds.
Am I back?
You were talking about Sam Howell.
I was just saying he threw for 21 touchdowns. And then I was saying, hold on, I want to read what Sam said too. Oh, I was saying that Michael Penix is 4, and that's what Jack has his hopes set on, is that they're going to want to move to Penix because they use the number 8 pick, and somehow you can finagle Cousins in here.
You might be able to. That is a yes.
Potential.
Yes.
And Sam was saying he doesn't think you're going to find a better bridge than Winston. Tend to agree. He has his heart set on Arch. What's that, 2 years from now?
I do believe so. You have to it would be 26 then, because he was a freshman last year. So sophomore.
What's the good decision? Drafting Penix?
Yeah, the day of, it did not feel like it. It felt like, man, you could have had Rome Odunze, but like if long term to get a guy that you believe can be your franchise quarterback, even if he's older and you have to set him for a year, quarterback's the one thing that I don't get caught up on guardrails. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's too old. It's like I'd rather have my quarterback be experienced when he comes into the league if possible.
So the last 2 names on here, you're going to hate the first one, but
okay. I'll hate away.
Gardner Minshew?
Yeah. Not over Jameis Winston, though. The answer is no.
Okay. And then finally, what about Jake Browning?
Interesting. That one's interesting. I liked his game when he got opportunity last year. There were several games that he looked like he was in command of stuff, and he did not look overwhelmed by any moment. And
he didn't.
But he's also throwing to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Like that's something that's happening.
Yeah.
But like I look, man, I wouldn't say no.
I mean, I'm just talking to guys that you at least look at. Like, I don't know, but I would look at Browning. This draft class doesn't blow me away.
No, but there's always going to be one guy who you're not high on that has the potential. They've just been in weird situations. It's about finding that guy. Like, no one was talking about Brock Purdy. No one was coming in like, dude, watch out for Brock Purdy. Like, there's going to be those guys out there, but you got to be able to mine that gold, and then you got to be able to develop them. Like, you have to have a plan in place and feel very confident about their trajectory and your ability to let them develop. Look, man, everyone we just said, outside of trading for Kirk Cousins, I'm starting Jameis Winston.
Okay. Free agent wide receivers. So you're going to need a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Unlikely the Browns go through free agency to get him.
Trade.
Yep. Draft said is going to be good, I think. So
let's talk about that just for a split second before we just glaze over, man. I've been so happy to finally see a dude really like start to show what he can be. Like, because there were a lot of things, because he didn't run a full route tree at Tennessee. He wasn't asked to do a bunch of diverse stuff. And he's not even really done that in the pros. But the stuff that he showed that he could do in college, he's actually showing in the NFL now. Yeah. His play strength is phenomenal.
Oh.
His play strength is phenomenal. His positioning on slants, his ability to shield and hand catch, you know what I mean, and just get north.
He did some special stuff in that Ravens game, man. The slant where he got lit up on that slant on the last drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
guys
bowled over. Yeah,
bowled over both, goes forward to like the 45, and then on the game winner, setting up the safety, going right at him, one jab inside.
It wasn't even a full jab, too. He sold it with the inside.
Step.
He sold the inside move and got even, and that's good. good recognition on leverage with Jameis because Jameis let it go before he was open, before he separated, but he did separate. And that's the other thing he did at Tennessee, man. It was smoke screen slants and go balls. That's what he was running there. And like I don't
feel
know.
like he's expanded his route tree though. What a catch on Sunday!
Oh my gosh!
I mean,
yes.
So
he's showing an ability to hand catch now. He's not catching with his body, which Judy would follow suit.
Although Judy's been productive.
Yeah, he's getting open. It's about the thing that sticks out to me. The difference between Jameis and Deshaun is Jameis allows you to get the ball and accentuate your strengths.
Yeah.
The whole time all season we just kept talking about Judy looked good after the catch in Denver, but we hadn't seen that until Jameis started playing football.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to see it a little bit to where he can catch it and turn up north and just ball placement, just simple stuff that should be simple.
Talk about bad play strength. Good Lord.
What's crazy, though, that isn't who he showed to be in Denver. In Denver, his play strength was weak off the line of scrimmage. Like you could jam him up and cause him to get off his route. But
he's
played
been better at that here.
He played decent after the catch in Denver as far as play strength and balance. But yeah, I'll agree. But look, man, I'm encouraged by what I've seen from Elijah Moore. That's the other reason, because I'm seeing like Zagura and some other people like, you guys, we got to see what we need to have in DTR. Pump the brakes. There'll be time for that. I need time to evaluate this roster. Jameis allows me to do that. Jameis allows me to evaluate the wide receivers, allows me to evaluate the offensive line.
The offense in general.
Boom. So let's see what the next 4 to 6 games look like. If you got to throw DTR in at the end when it's all lost, I'm not going to cry about it. But I need to know what we have going forward, because do we need more? How many more playmakers do we need? What do we need to get? And Jameis kind of gives me a clearer picture of the evaluation of this.
Couldn't agree more. Wrote about it in things I think I know. I said I changed my timeline thing. I said at this point, the only way you can evaluate the individuals and the offense, and I'm big into evaluating the offense because I don't know if you want Dorsey to be a part of this going forward. I don't know if that's the answer.
This reason he's calling plays, you're evaluating him
this
too.
This was for Watson.
Mm-hmm.
We're still running it, but I need to see if it's really something that we can run with somebody else. I kind of want to just let Stefanski cook, but
you're getting zero objections from me, man.
So, but I got to see more of this, and the only way to evaluate that is with Jameis and your wide receivers, including my guy Elijah, who looked really good one week and then not so good the next week. Like played great against the Ravens, but they're terrible. Their secondary is terrible. So I got to see more from him.
Yeah,
I don't know. Either way, they're missing a number one is the problem.
Yes, but Cedric and Judy might be both strong twos.
So what does that mean to you? Does that mean you can get a
No, it doesn't mean those dudes don't prevent me from drafting T-Mac out of Arizona. That's for damn sure,
Right.
But it makes me feel better about the floor of the room if you got multiple guys who are like starting caliber wide receivers.
Contributors, yeah.
And Tillman being on a rookie deal helps for the next two. You know what I mean? That's something that's a bonus. If Elijah can be a part of it, cool. If not, let's see what we got in Thrash. That's something that I would like to see over these. I don't want to rush him. If he's not ready, cool. But like the second he is, he needs to see some time.
I think you should see time after the bye. I wrote that too. You got to work him in. You got to find out what you got there. Because to me, it should be kind of a competition between him and Elijah.
Yeah.
At this point. They kind of do the same thing. I want to see what he has, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But the fact that he's not leads me to believe that they don't believe that he's ready for that.
I think that changes after the bye.
Hopefully.
I think they're at a point where, at this point, sink or swim.
It's going to be similar to what we just went through. So you played Baltimore, not a good pass D. I'm going to say you had your way, but you were able to be explosive and hit chunk plays. Then you played Los Angeles, and the opposite. That's a very stingy secondary. They don't give you much. The Saints were a good defense once upon a time, but you traded away your best corner and you fired your defensive head coach. what does that look like in 2 weeks? You know what I mean? But then you play the Steelers, solid D. So you're going to kind of go back and forth. Denver has a good D. I don't know. You're going to get the test, but like I'm with you, man. And now it's about evaluating what do we have, what are we going forward with, and what do we need.
Real talk about this offense, so we're going to find out.
Well, you were talking about receivers. Are there any free agent receivers you'd be interested in, or trade candidates, guys you think could be pried away that would fit what you need? Because I don't think you're getting a number one that way.
No, but that's kind of where I was going when you kind of said, well, it feels like you might have 2 twos. Like if you have 3 twos, I think you might be okay.
Look at Green Bay.
Right.
That's not saying one of those guys won't become a 1, but like right now they got like a room full of 2s and they're like pretty damn dangerous.
These Ravens helmets or something, Jacob. Oh, I forgot the game starting. Yeah, we'll go here in a minute, but man, it sucks. Sorry, I mean there's 449. I don't know if it's stuck there or people are actually watching on Twitter. I don't know what's happening. I can't tell anything from the stream, right? But I'll definitely take the audio and put it up on podcast if anybody's hopping in or out, and so you can listen to the show. And we'll have to address this YouTube issue. Somebody. Barry. Help. Because I even found a way to get connected twice. So it's not the internet, you know what I mean? It's something, it's StreamYard or something. You feel me?
I'm seeing other guys who I know use StreamYard that were live.
I know.
That's
I'm not saying it's all of StreamYard. I'm saying this, I don't put me on blast.
Yeah, something on the back end, man.
trying to put me on Front Street. Yeah, but final thoughts before we get out of here. Who do you think wins this game tonight?
Baltimore. Lamar is 9-2 all time against Cincinnati. So we remember what that was like, right? We remember going up against those teams you just couldn't beat.
So. Is it in Cincinnati?
I don't think it matters. You ever been to Cincinnati for a game? That is not like a hostile environment to play in.
No. Yeah, I wasn't. I was just.
I'm undefeated there. I've been to several games, and
it's in Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't.
Here's my thing. Baltimore has a problem, though. They have their defense is a problem. They're bad.
Yeah, it caps how good they can be.
They got Tre'Davious White, but I don't know what he can do at this point. Because they were really bad in that game.
Yeah, but they were without their best corner and then probably the third corner. It's a tough scenario. If you were to tell me we were without Ward and Emerson, like, how would you feel? You'd be like, well.
Oh, no, I agree. I'm just saying, like, they can't rush the passer either.
Mm-hmm.
I just think their defense is kind of a Achilles heel for them.
It's flawed, yeah. This year. It'll come to roost when you're playing Buffalo and you're playing Chiefs and even the Texans. There'll be issues
tonight. You got Joey B. Are you gonna let Joe Burrow sit?
You ain't got T. They don't have T. Higgins, man. That ain't the same offense.
I like Iasovis or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Yosevich. Andre Yosevich. Yoshi. They call him Yoshi.
Yoshi.
He was one of those guys that during the draft process, I thought he was going to be like Christian Watkins. I thought the draft community would just fall in love with him. You're talking about just an uber athlete. What he did at Princeton, it's like, and I know it's Princeton, so it's like, okay, you level competitions down, but he was a decathlete. You know what I mean? And like dude was like one of the best athletes in the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, and dude, whatever. I called it when it happened, man. Like them drafting Jermaine Burton's been hilarious to me.
Dude, so
You got
funny. You called that one for sure.
you can't you have to have a leader, not you can't let that kid in your room.
That is crazy, right?
All right. Do you filibuster for a second before we go? I'm going to look and see if I can find what our playoff predictions were to see where we're at midway.
Yeah. See if you can grab those. So
With analog, I wrote it down.
Make sure that you keep it locked. The OBR. Sign up for the OBR newsletter so you get it right in your mailbox. We'll get this resolved quickly so that shows for the rest, next week, going back into game week, New Orleans week, we'll have a full week of shows. I think this is the last show of the week, anyways, here at the OBR streaming network. But we appreciate everybody that's watched. And if YouTube was up right now, I'd tell you to hop on over and hit like and subscribe. But if you want, you can go to the podcast sites, whatever one you listen to, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Leave us a review, 5 stars. You know how we get down. And read everybody at the OBR as we get you ready for, I think I'm going to do a self-scout article, Casey.
Nice.
And then we'll turn our attention towards the next game. And these games are important you can't tank. You need to try to win these games. I don't think there's any value in tanking at this point. There's nobody worth it. It hurts your culture too badly. You've got to try to win games. And Stefanski is facing quite we thought last year was a tough job. Keeping this locker room together in these final 8 is probably the toughest job he's going to face so far in his career, I would think.
I just let us down, man.
It's all good. It's all good. All I know is Brendan Rice ain't doing anything.
Nope, he is not. He's on the IR. He was scared of us.
He's scared of me.
Yeah, you did it. You put the hex on him. He's going to be a bust. But if he catches a single pass just because they're decimated 1 week, still that's a risky thing.
I know. I just don't even think he makes the practice squad next year.
You're probably right. I mean, he was a healthy scratch most of the year, even before he got on the IR.
What's the other one we have going? Chargers playoff team? I said no. You said yes.
Yeah, I had the Chargers
looking good there.
Chargers as a playoff team, and I remember I couldn't even quantify it. I can't even tell you what Harbaugh does, but he does it. Whatever, man. He creates a winning environment. Like they're not even a good offense. Like I can't even tell you who their defensive backs are outside of Derwin James, but they're good. Like
they should be good with Herbert. What do they? I mean, they've reduced what Justin Herbert could be in the league to something much less.
Yeah, just based on the weapons they've given him.
Yes.
Yeah, because that offensive line, dude, I'm telling you.
And the offense they run.
That offensive line is scary as shit across the board. Like that's probably the best top to bottom line in the league.
Is there anything this offense could show you under Dorsey in the last 8 weeks that would make you say, yeah, let's roll with him as a play caller and the offense into 2025?
Oh,
I'm not saying
that. Yeah. Could they? Yeah. I mean, if they come out and start averaging, 36 a game.
And you know what I mean? Like within reason, what are you looking for? How are you going to evaluate it? Just points? It's got to be more than that.
No, it's situational. It's situational play. Yeah. It's not about what you know. It's about what you can teach people. You know what I mean? And that's execution. And we haven't seen that. We haven't seen high level execution. It almost feels like when something good happens, it's like you got away with it. It isn't because you took command of a situation and you were able to dictate what's happening. That's what I need to see. Go out there and bend the defense. Dictate to them. quit being passive, and you have a better chance of doing that with Jameis because he will be aggressive. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about you almost have to coach that down. That's the reason I like him in a Stefanski system. Stefanski would be able to do that. And I'm not saying you could keep Jameis to single digit interceptions over the course of a season, but could Jameis break the franchise record for touchdown passes? Absolutely. He could throw over 30 in a season.
That's
And
the
if you
thing,
keep those
man.
picks under 15, you'll win games.
Wouldn't you rather, like, say he comes out and plays well the rest of the way
Mhm.
and looks like he can be your bridge? Wouldn't you rather go into the offseason with Stefanski
Yes.
having his hands all over Winston,
Yes.
metaphorically, um, than
Dorsey.
Dorsey?
Yeah. Yeah. And this was my point of contention when they made Jameis the starter. I wanted to see what he looked like with Stefanski. That's what I wanted to see. But I think that if he does well, then it's an indictment on Watson. This way, you've changed too many variables, and now it's not just if it goes well. It's that whole shared bullshit we were talking about before. Like we need to be able to single something out, and by them making multiple moves at once, you can't because I saw you. I mean, I'm sure you saw the timeline. As soon as the Ravens games happened, they're like, see, Stefanski can't call an offense. See, like that offensive line played way better with like you started to see the goalposts just get
I
moved.
Who said that? I never heard it. I'm sure people did say that, but
Oh,
that's
that's all over
insane.
the place,
It was clearly the quarterback.
right? But that's not because you change too many variables. Then you give people the wiggle room to the lateral ability to be like, look, it's because this guy can call an offense and that guy can't. It's like,
But
or you have a guy who
who
can read a
cares?
field and throw the ball on time with good placement. How about
Yeah,
that?
anybody that says that is out of their mind.
How about a quarterback who gets rid of the ball in 2.6 seconds?
Yeah,
Let's do
exactly.
that. Can we do that? Like, those are basic
Doesn't
concepts, and
run
that'll make
into
your offense look
75
better anyway.
sacks.
But if it goes well, say the Browns go, it's 8 games, okay? Say you're 500 or 5-3. Say you play best case scenario, you're 5-3. Your offense is efficient. You're scoring right around 20 points a game, and you're efficient, and you're not turning the ball over a ton. That's still not enough for me. I would still rather just pivot back to Stefanski, give him an offseason with this guy as your weapon. You still need to bring in another offensive coordinator. So get someone who speaks Stefanski's language and build upon what Stefanski does. Because the most defensive coordinator spent this entire offseason breaking down Shanahan's offenses, and they're all across the league.
Yeah.
They've had less success this year.
Yeah.
And Stefanski is a branch off that. The Kubiak's it's at the root, it was that, and then they kind of went up their separate ways.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of similar concepts. So get someone who can build on that. And because what we're seeing right now, Stefanski can't fix it. He can't fix what this offense is, but he could adjust his. We've seen that over time. And I would argue, as far as being a pocket passer, Jameis is as good as anyone he's worked with.
I'll listen to it. I got to see it, but I believe that it could be true. And I just it's so clearly to me the quarterback. The quarterback was so bad for the first 7 weeks. So you would say like you can't fix it. I don't think anybody could fix that with Watson.
No, you changed your entire offense to cater to him, and he couldn't even run that.
He couldn't run anything.
A system that was built for him.
They were
now, you could argue that they didn't do the right job at replicating the Bill O'Brien shit.
I don't even believe that because then now you're getting the leaks about like that he didn't even know the offense back then, and they had to like walk him through it.
Yeah, who released that? Was that was Charles Robinson said that someone told him being out of practice that even in a practice he was like getting all the information from the head coach as they're going to the line.
Yeah.
I
just it's done. That's done.
I hope God, your mouth of God's ears. I hope that's done.
It sounded like it yesterday or Tuesday.
Me same.
And Winston, let's get some good performance out of him, and then get a look at this offense and how they're going to run it, because it is mixed. That's the thing. It's a mix of Dorsey and it's a mix of Stefanski, and it's hard to evaluate sometimes.
And this sounds crazy saying this out loud, but the thing that I miss the most is the running game under Stefanski.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but see, like DeJuan can't run the wide zone. I know, but they were multiple.
Pin pull.
Yeah, they were multiple. So
that's the thing we haven't talked about too. Is I really want to see DeJuan work out at left. I want to see, just give him the reps, give him the time, let him develop. If you can take something off your menu for the offseason, having a left tackle in place on a rookie deal, that'd be a huge step.
Isaiah McGuire, Diabate,
Tillman,
Mitchell, Tillman. These are guys that have looked pretty good. McGuire, especially Tillman, seem like two guys that have come along here. Diabate as well. Not less so last week, but was playing some good ball there for a while. He played better next to JOK, obviously, than Devin Bush, but
no, but even without JOK, with Diabate's emergence and Bush's ability, if you can even get Jordan Hicks back, I think you're still a pretty solid linebacking unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, JOK is a massive hit. He's a true math changer. But
yeah, I just think that there's a core. You have your core, and then there's some young guys on this roster who, moving Z, you're going to give McGuire more opportunity, and he's earned it. He's played well. His PFF grades look great. You're going to get him more reps. Tillman's getting that opportunity because you moved Cooper. You're going to get the same things here a little bit, but you need to now, coming out of this bye week, you need to start getting your Thrash in there, maybe get Mitchell more reps. These are the guys that you want to evaluate in the last 8 weeks.
At some point, if Thornhill's not in your future plans, do you set him down?
I don't know if you sit him down, but
I mean, not right now, but I'm talking about we get to 4 games to go, and if he's not in your future plans, like
maybe
you start making time for some other guys to see what
Hickman,
you have.
Hickman, get him out there because I like him, and I think I don't know exactly what he can be, but he seems like he could be right in the same vein as what Thornhill does, but maybe better. So
my other question is, with Z out, do you let Hall get more reps on the outside? Like, is that something you're concentrating on, or it just happens as it happens organically?
Yeah, it just happens organically. I think I just like so much what he's doing right now from the inside. Let it happen organically. He looks great.
He does. He does. His ability to generate pressure, man. He's so quick. He's so quick. But in my mind, he's just quick enough to play edge. And if I can get a chess piece that I can move up and down that line of scrimmage.
Hey, yeah. I mean, if you want to try him out there, go for it. Sure.
Well, there's just a vacancy now because Obo's a situational pass rusher. He's not going to give you much in run defense. And if Alex Wright was out there, we wouldn't be having this conversation probably. Right. Because between Alex Wright and McGuire, I'm actually writing an article that I'll be turning in tonight about it. So I won't get too deep into it. But the Browns have had this model of how they handled Miles as running partner, his running mate. You know what I mean? And you've just rented guys. And I think you finally have 2 guys now that can, like, I feel comfortable going into the next season.
With Wright and McGuire?
Opposite of Miles, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can get some edge play out of Hall and be kind of a bonus piece, and Obo's the situational guy, I feel like you're in a really good spot and you're not paying a ton for it,
Yeah, you don't need a ton there. It's pretty cheap. Yep. Yeah, it's a great point. There's some areas like that. Left tackle, potentially. The defensive end situation, there's some areas there that you're further ahead. Wide receiver, you're further ahead than I thought they would be, say, after week 4.
Yeah. Say, going into the season, this is what I was hoping for. I was like, all right, man, just give me.
Yeah.
I don't mean keep hard on, but like that Green Bay method. Like, as long as these young guys can all show to be to the level, and you can put multiple playmakers out there, and you don't know who the ball's going to because there's no like definitive pecking order.
See, like going into the season, I was like, well, if everything works out, then a lot of these young guys won't have huge roles anyways because the vets will all be playing and, da, 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 da. But, like 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, it's like, man, this looks really bad. And we're not getting a ton from any of the young guys. But, as a couple weeks later now, as we're going through the bye week, some things have emerged that are interesting on the younger side of the roster. I'll just say that.
Yeah, which is huge because that's what you got to do when you're battling cap issues is you have to develop your own to be starters and not have to pay out the face, and that'll allow you to like weather the storm.
Out the face.
Out the face. We've been paying out the face.
Paying out the face. 7-0 Cincy, says Jacob. I gotta go see who scored that touchdown.
All right, man. I don't have anybody on my fantasy team from tonight, so I'm not going to be that invested.
I don't care about the fantasy team. Same game parlay, baby.
There you go. I don't live in a cool enough state, man.
D-Gens only. All right. Listen, man. Good to have you back.
Appreciate it, brother.
So sad about YouTube. But we'll get it sorted.
Yes, sir.
My wife's calling me. I gotta go. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Hit like, subscribe, pay attention to the OBR for all our coverage. For Casey Kinnamon, my name is Brad Ward. We'll get YouTube fixed and see you next week. We are out.
Peace.